just to be clear, what we're talking about here is one of the requirements to invoke the review of the ethics board is a written request from one of the board members. That's what has to happen. So I wrote a request, and I have been duly corrected as to the makeup of the board, because apparently we don't have one right now. But the letter, which everybody should have got a copy of, except I don't think I copied Mr. Galbato. It's very brief. I'd like this letter to serve as a required written notification to the town requesting that the town ethics board be convened to address a situation which occurred recently at 69 Melrose Road. Work was privately done at that location on a for-profit basis by the town highway supervisor. The town employee or employees received compensation, and then the town was billed by the resident for the services provided. I had identified myself as the chair of the ethics board, but that's incorrect. I said I would let the board know when the meetings will take place, but that would be Jeremy's function, assuming that we get a board in place. I would also like to be provided, and this is still a request, I would also like to be provided all pertinent documentation, including any emails to or from any town email regarding this situation. If we need specific keywords to search for, I can provide those to whoever maintains our email servers. And this should also serve as notification that the ethics board will also address a situation regarding a recent billing and payment to a volunteer contractor. I put volunteer in quotes. I would also request any documents regarding that situation, including any emails to or from town emails, which include the name Richard or Rich Knoll. These situations will be addressed or should be addressed separately. Advisory opinions, the ethics board issues advisory opinions after they've met and gathered documents, taken testimony. The advisory opinions from the board will be issued at the conclusion of the ethics board's investigation. I thank the town in advance for their cooperation in these matters. The town needs to be conducting its business with the utmost professionalism and transparency, and this is key to doing that. So those are the two issues that I'd like the ethics board to address. And separate from that, and I've been told in the past that as a board member, I don't need to file a FOIL request, but I am looking for those documents and copies of any of those emails to or from any of the town emails that I will then provide to the ethics board as part of my complaint.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the rest of the board? In my opinion, at the event that took place where a homeowner hired a private contractor on their own time to do on their own property that doesn't belong to the town, separate work, and I don't see how the town can get themselves involved with that happening. When the individual contractors discovered that there was a problem with a contractor that we hired 4 years ago to put in a water line, never hooked up never damaged and cut through a lateral, which is owned by the homeowner. We are not paying the contractor, we're paying the homeowner. So the homeowner has requested this, not the contractors. From what I've been understood, the contractor has been paid by the homeowner. and he is seeking reimbursement because at no fault to him, the general contractor, if anything, this board is liable for because we are responsible for them to do quality work. And we didn't know about it until after he had a flooded basement, which is a health emergency, and they hired, and the homeowner actually thought it was his responsibility to do the work. That's why he paid him to do it. So the work that he is seeking reimbursement for is the share of the lateral that is his responsibility, not ours, but because of the workmanship that this previous contractor did, then they cut through it. They had to go back into the yard to get the right pitch in order to have a gravity fed system, into the sewer system. So, that's why I think it's not a conflict of interest. It's not an ethics situation. And I think it's, that's just like you're entitled to yours.
Yeah. So we haven't discussed why it's an ethics issue. You just opened that door. So I think that I should have the right to say why it is. The simple fact is, without using any names or names of employees or names of other people, presenting this exact situation to a number of other elected officials in other towns and in other levels of government, there is not one person who doesn't see this as a blatant violation of ethics. Blatant. Because should not the right thing to do be, oh my God, I've identified, I am an elected representative of the town, and I've identified something that the town is obviously responsible for. Shouldn't I notify the town and then have the town fix it?
It's exactly what they did.
No,
Bob, didn't the town, once you notified the situation, didn't you call in the crew to come in and fix the remedy? But these people are, the homeowner was billed for work prior to that, and that it's a separate situation. So do we have records and documentation of payroll? Because I think it was on a Friday night.
Saturday and Sunday, I think.
So that's exactly what happened. So I'm glad we agree. Huh? We are, but the homeowner says at no fault to him, the contractor did not hook up the thing. Therefore, I'm paying this guy to do it, but it wasn't my fault to begin with. So I already paid these guys to do this work. But when that was notified,
that's not what I was told initially, and that's not what was in the email. What was in the email was I hired a private contractor to put in a new water line from here to there. That's what was in the email, to put in a new water line. And in digging that up, the contractor noticed, oh my God, there's a problem with the sewer line. And with the sewer line, then now, instead of stopping and saying, this is the town's problem, the town should handle it with town employees on town time.
Now, from the homeowner telling me what the situation was, I don't know what I can't recall without looking at the
what
letter.
You put in your email.
Well, I can't remember what I put in my email, but
that's what you put in your email.
But what was going on was they were hired because they had a sewer backup, and why they had the hole open. They said, you got galvanized water line, it's shot, you really should, and everything else in the house is new, you really should put in a new water line because this pressure in the house is low. So he agreed to do the water line after the ditch was already open for the sewer line. So therefore, that's why exactly what you said is not an ethics violation, because that's exactly what they did.
I guess the board will find that to be the case.
Wasn't this guy out of town most of the time, so he never noticed this problem? Isn't that how it started? I mean, they were going into the ground.
Single guy who travels to Florida.
Right, so he wasn't here enough to.
Yeah, his amount of usage on that sewer line was minimal.
Right.
When we hit the P-stone for where the water line went.
Right.
It looked like blacktop because
the water line,
it was draining.
The main water line, not the lateral water line.
The main water line was laying over the sewer. He broke the sewer. This guy said he's had problems for 3 years.
Right.
I said, why don't you contact the town? So you got 3 years to go back against this contractor.
I called the contractor. Like I said last, I would do that, and the contractor does not feel it's his responsibility because of marking out in every claim. He's trying to make a living and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask Rick to look into our legal responsibilities to go after the contractor who put the main water line in so that we can go after him. So the purpose of putting this in the audit and payment of claims today
Mhm.
was to reimburse the homeowner for an expense at no fault of him to get him held whole, like the county does for us on county taxes, and then we go after the contractor and see where it falls there. But if I would agree, but if this effect right here is once they dug from the house out to the lateral, and the lateral is the last thing that's done. Once that happened, we called in the town crew to take care of the rest of the stuff. And the homeowner was billed and for the work that
And
was
just-
done on his own personal property, not on the right of way, which where the main water line, main sewer line is.
And just for my own knowledge, because I don't know this to be the case, I just make the assumption.
Yeah.
But the town crew and the private contractor crew, same exact crew, right?
With a couple extra people, the
Okay.
town crew. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have full confidence in the ethics board to vindicate our employee then.
Yep, that's the truth. So